in a couple days, on March 23rd, midnight, Congress is going to have to pass a budget. And again, what we're looking at are deep cuts to social programs, increase in budgets for defense spending, are just two examples of what's going on in this budget. What does this budget that is about to be passed, what does that say about our American values and our priorities?
Look, we got to understand, I think one of the words that I like to use is the word scale. The entire governmental system, which is really run by the establishment, for the establishment, by what I call the collusion of Republicans and Democrats. 70% of Americans now believe in this concept of a deep state. And it's frankly true, right? It's a military industrial academic complex. It's all the laws and everything they pass are really intended for big pharma, big hospitals, big defense contractors, right? It's not about at the scale of where real innovation takes place, where real growth takes place, which is in fundamentally local economies. Look, I invented email, not at MIT, and this is where the controversy comes in. It occurred in Newark, New Jersey. Now, had the ecosystem been in there of lawyers and the local community banks, I would be a gazillionaire now, and also where the policy set up. But TV was invented in Franklin, Idaho, in a small farm. So the reality is real innovation, real growth occurs locally. And what we've done is we have bamboozled through the media, through advertising, that the notion, the narrative, false narrative, that all great things occurs in the big environment. It's absolutely false. Big agriculture, Monsanto, look what they've done. Big Pharma is a disease, look what they've done. Real innovation, real growth, real human health and sustenance occurs, I'm convinced, at the local level, in communities. So I'm a believer that these budgets, they have nothing to do with that, right? They're all about scaling at the gigantic level, right? So 20% of the GDP right now is for healthcare. Well, where is that money going? Everyone wants, you have two sides. Bernie Sanders talks about single payer, and the other people say, we need to support Big Pharma. Both of these guys got it wrong. The bottom line is small is beautiful. What we've created is Big Pharma, big hospitals, big insurance, and they are all motivated to give the costs high. Because
it seems like it's always this, either it's profligacy or penury when it comes to the budget. Something's going to get
created this. Yeah, they've created this ridiculous dialectic, and it's in that dialectic that they have all of us debating, when it's a completely bogus model. When you really look at, for example, healthcare, which is a big part of the budget, right? It's bigger than defense. The biggest part of that budget is healthcare. And the way we really, for example, drop the cost of healthcare is to recognize two things which relates to education. We don't have enough family practitioners anymore. We need to eliminate the need for a doctor to go to 4 years university. After high school, you should be able to go right to medical school. And then you lower the burden on most of these doctors right away. The second piece of this is we need to drastically bring down the cost of drugs. And that a lot of that takes place in collusion, because there are things called group purchasing organizations, and we can talk more about that. But the reality is a $2 generic drug is being sold for $32,000. So the level of collusion that takes place is never addressed. Bernie Sanders never addresses this. Elizabeth Warren never addresses this, because they like big. Both of these people like big. They want centralization of power, because at a fundamental level, the Republicans and Democrats, both of them believe that they know better. Elizabeth Warren fundamentally believes she knows better, that everyone else is stupid. And my view is that individuals know better. Everyday people are every day solving all sorts of problems. And we need to fundamentally believe in the concept of decentralization, bring things back to the local community levels. We need to support local community banks. We need to support the local public libraries, the local post office, and the local public schools, because that is literally the hub of where innovation can take place. And I'll talk more about that in a program that's really central to our entire program. We call it Local Revolution.